This is a special meeting agenda. Tonight is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. I'll call the meeting to order at 7:33 p.m. Anybody here should be here for the Zoning Board of Appeals. Channel 79, are we on recording?
Yep.
All good? Thank you. One favor to ask, if you could all make sure your phones are silenced. I know we all assume that we've done it, but I forget all the time. When you come up, just please come to the microphone when you're going to speak and just state your name for the record so we can just write it down for the notes. And then keep all side conversation if you could. So what we're going to do is go through, we have 3 items tonight, and then at the end we will stop and deliberate. At that point you guys cannot make any comments, nothing from the audience. So anybody who wants to be heard has to be heard prior to the closing out of an application, okay? So I'll just note one postponement and continuation. Item 13-2024 McManus Highland Avenue. We're going to open that and continue that to either July 17th or September 18th at the applicant's discretion. All right. Moving on, our first calendar item is number 10-2024 for Timothy and Amy Kennedy. This is to allow the construction of a second-story addition at 62 Salisbury Road. If you come up and state your name for the record, I appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Stanley from JR Stanley Builders. I'm representing Tim and Amy Kennedy. Is that loud enough?
I think so.
Okay.
You picking this up? You guys good?
Yep.
Okay.
I got it.
They'll yell at you if they can't hear you.
We're asking for permission to put a second story on top of the garage that's existing right now. Structure will only rise 6 feet approximately, because we're doing clipped walls on the inside. It's staying in the same foundation footprint as it was originally. We are not changing the foundation. We're saving the 4 walls. We were just going on top of it. I do have a letter from the neighbor that's right next door, verifying that he's been told that he's in favor of it.
Which neighbor is that? Is that
48 at Davidson's.
48 Davidson?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the other, Christopher Lingenfelter, any of the other neighbors aware of this?
Yes, they've all been notified.
Okay.
Within 100 feet. They've all been put in letters.
Okay, great.
But the Davidsons are right next door.
Okay.
I have one also.
Oh, yes.
So is this the neighbor directly adjacent to where the addition's going on?
Correct.
Okay, so most effective.
Most effective. And basically because of all the wetlands, there's really no other area except for a small triangle in the front of the house here, that is buildable right now. We have a pond on the side here, Good Black River comes down. We have wetlands between the 2 homes. So we feel this is the best to suit their needs.
So what we always look for is the hardship. And then also if you've made the minimum adjustment and what other options you considered before arriving at this plan.
Well,
There's nowhere else to go.
There's nowhere else to go except for a small triangle in the front yard. And it's a very small triangle, probably a 30 square foot area.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only buildable unit.
Right.
It looks like you could put a teepee there or something. You sure you've explored all options?
I'll pass that along.
Okay, so
There is a utility shed on the back of the garage that was never permitted for. I don't think it was existing when the homeowner, when Tim and Amy bought the property. We were willing to take that out to make it a little bit more conforming.
is this an undersized lot? It's a 2 acre.
It's a 2 acre, but it's unusable.
So of the lot, let's see, I'm looking at it, it looks like it's only 1.5 acres, 1.12 acres, so 2 acre zoning. And a big chunk of it is the pond,
Right.
okay? I'm sorry, you said something a minute ago, you said you were willing to remove something. We love
There's a
that.
small shed, tool shed, on the back corner of the garage
Yes.
that is in the setback.
Okay,
It's definitely in the setback, and we'd be willing to remove that to
we love that.
try to accommodate.
We love when you come more in compliance. Okay, good. What are your questions from a building standpoint?
Just all the reusing all the foundations?
We used all the foundations and all the first floor walls, the existing walls now, we're just taking the roof straight off.
Going right up.
Yeah, we're gonna actually protect the garage door and leave it in place.
I thought I saw on one of the drawings some new foundations.
On the back corner, there's a small section that's within the
I got it.
setback. It's just a 3
So
by
that's the new
5
foundation.
new foundation for a powder bathroom, right? It still has to go through
And then this is the
wetlands.
existing shed. Okay.
Where's all the HVAC equipment located?
The HVAC equipment is on the opposite side of the house,
Okay.
is right here. There is a generator in the back here. We'll be pulling in toward the inside the property.
So I guess the only thing that I noticed on this, I mean, like the walls, there's nowhere to build. But I guess those are new propane tanks going in, right? Or are those existing propane tanks?
No, the propane tank has been relocated underground on the side of the driveway. So the 2 propane tanks that were on the side of the building
Okay.
have been,
So they're not gonna be there?
no,
Okay.
they've been removed. We put a 1,000-gallon propane tank in side of the driveway several years back.
Yeah, I thought I saw 2 outside tanks also when I went by. Maybe
They're on
I'm
the
wrong.
drawings, that's where I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still in the drawings.
I went by, I was walking around the property.
Did you say they're gonna be removed?
They have been removed. We put an underground
Yeah.
fuel propane tank in the ground.
The small tanks are still on the side of the garage. Last week or so?
I don't know why they're still there. They should not be there. We have an underground
Plan
1,000
is
gallon.
to, plan is to remove.
Plan is to remove them, yes, yes. They might not have been picked up yet. They should have been.
Generator going in, anything?
Generator is already in, it's just being relocated. It's right now, it's in the center of the garage. We're gonna pull it in toward the property.
So the generator will be within the
Yes,
setback?
correct.
Okay, generator moving.
We're just moving about 4 or 5 feet.
Okay.
And right now, it's not compliant. It's in the.
No, right now it's right on the edge, right on the edge. But it is compliant, yeah, it was permitted.
And the hardship, just to state one more time, is that there is such a limited building
Limited.
footprint,
Correct,
shown by the green triangle
correct,
highlighted on,
From 2001.
correct.
Is that from
Yeah.
2001?
yeah.
Not markup?
Yeah,
Pretty
actually,
bad.
believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
former owner.
it's your markup, isn't it?
That's when I started doing that staff question.
Wow,
The cruise.
okay.
I can't believe you still have it.
We
Yeah.
had the old fuck.
Yeah, I don't even know how a house got built on this property, it's interesting.
Right.
Jana, what do you think of,
I mean, I think this one seems relatively straightforward to me.
what's going into the addition?
Right now, it's gonna be an office playroom type thing, possibly for in-laws eventually.
And of the addition,
Mhm.
all of it, it's not all of it, but a portion of it is in the setback. So what is that? You're really only asking for, it looks like, do you know the exact dimension of the square feet you're asking for?
It's 10 by 20, 240 square feet. No, 220 square feet, because it's clipped ceilings.
Okay.
So it's not quite a bit, it's,
So matching the existing foundation, you're going up to
Going
the second
straight up,
story,
yep.
another 220 square feet.
correct, and it's only a 6-foot rise.
Okay,
The walls, the outside walls will be only about 6 foot, so it'll clipped ceiling,
okay. Minimal.
minimal, yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, me, yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay,
So-
anybody in the
thank you
audience
very
wish to be heard on this application? You guys look like you're chomping at the bit to say something, no? No one has anything to say, all right, nicely done.
Great.
Thank you, if you want
Thank
to
you
stick
very
around,
much.
hopefully we'll deliberate tonight.
Great,
And
thank you.
have your answer. All right. Okay, so, what do you, anything I missed from you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we're gonna hear calendar number 11-2024. This is the application of Charles Harrigan, to allow the construction of a second, an attic, and a one-story addition at 16 Archer Lane. Please approach.
Hi, I am Kurt Stroily. I'm the architect. Charles is sitting right there. And let's see. Okay, right now, the Harrigans have, they've just bought this house right here with the garage. It was what used to be a garage here and then a one-story thing here. They'd like to build a second story over this part, which would encroach on the side yard by 1.1 feet. The total square footage of the encroachment front to back would be 23 or 24 square feet.
Because it's the 1 foot by the
1 foot
length?
by this length right here.
Okay.
And then a couple inches more for the rake on the roof. The property currently is non-conforming. It's adequately sized, but it's only 75 feet wide, should have been 80 feet. It's non-conforming with respect to coverage at, whatever our commode says here, 20 something, 21.6% coverage now. They're going to remove a shed. They're going to remove this portion of the deck. They're going to remove a little porch here, and they're going to remove a 2 foot overhang in the front of the house. And that will bring the conformity in terms of lot coverage to, I believe it was 19.4%.
Gonna love it.
Yeah, well, you're
More
gonna love this.
conforming.
You'll love this even more.
All right.
Because this part here used to be a garage. Someone put a wall in the middle of it, put furniture, paneling, carpet, and the car parks here and another one right here. We're going to remove all of that, fill in the stair that leads down to the basement, and turn this back into a one-car garage so that this car is parked here, and the second car will still stick out into the setback a little bit, but it'll be quite the improvement.
Yes.
We also talked with Woody about putting parking right here next to it besides the setback, and then realized we've only got 10 feet here. You won't be able to get out of the car without stepping on your neighbor's property, so we scratched that idea. In terms of,
Wait, sorry, I'm sorry, say this again. The
Well,
one-car
this is-
garage is going back to a garage. Now, it's still
No.
outside the,
this garage,
Yes.
which no longer functions as a garage, it has walls in it and carpet and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Take all that out, turn it back into a garage, you can put a car in it.
okay,
As it stands now, you park one car here and one car here.
so
With
now
the-
you'll be able to use.
Now we'll have one car here and one car here, and then this was for Woody's benefit that we talked about it, but realized it wasn't gonna work.
I love that you worked with staff to explore
Okay.
your options.
So in terms of how this is gonna look, this is the neighborhood. They are at 16 Archer Lane. This is the house next door, which is 2 stories. This is the house across the street, which is 2 stories. This is the house quite nearby across the street. And so the 2 stories are in the character of the neighborhood. And to delineate the nonconformity out of the existing first floor here, this much is non-conforming. That's how much, that's what we're requesting. And as I said, it'll be 23 square foot, and if you measure it all the way out to the drip line of the rake molding, it'll be 29 square feet. And
Ridiculous question, but did you consider moving the second story in a foot?
yes, we did. We considered that at the very beginning and almost decided to do it, except in our opinion, first of all, it's like the house looks stupid. And the neighbors will say, look at this ugly house.
It does look stupid.
Thank you. I was afraid you'd say, oh, the architect, can't you make it look good?
I'm sure you could.
Yeah. To the rear, this is the non-conforming part of the rear. You know, the roof comes up to here, so a full second story, nice big attic. This part here is all, oh, I forgot also. They've had 2 variances already. One when they built the house, and for some reason it was over the setback line. They got a variance. And then In 1963, when they built this addition, they got a variance so that they could line up with this. It might show better on the first floor plan. When they built this addition, they got a variance so that this part here could line up with here and encroach on the setback by a little bit less because you're not quite parallel to the property line.
So we're building on the second variance.
Third, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What do you think, Matt?
Any support from the neighbors?
Oh, yeah, we have a letter, Charles. I think he submitted it, so he didn't bring it here, but a letter from the neighbor on this side, the one closest to being affected, saying that they think it's fine.
I think we have that on the table.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do have it. It's right here. Regarding application 1124, lot number 106, the applicant is requesting a property setbacks and a variance. This request should be subject to a hardship review to demonstrate the variance is warranted. Rolf Orban, that doesn't really say they're in support. It just says they know you're requesting this. The
There
applicant.
was another letter, I think, Kuntz? Is that
Yes,
right?
the Kuntz is on at 18.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're the ones who were up against that, were requesting it.
okay. And we have that in the record?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
Do we?
I submitted it, it's in the.
It's in the file, it's in the, it's on the,
Application.
yeah, it's on the
I'm
file.
looking at it right now.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Well, one other question I know you asked, which is
Yeah.
why couldn't we just shove the whole thing over in this direction? And the reason being over in here, this is a garage built in 1957. I have doubts about the foundation holding up the second story. We didn't dig a hole and see, but I would expect that the footings are this far below grade.
Okay.
And then over in here, the construction, again, these were additions done in the early 60s, and I didn't really like, this part here has a nice concrete block foundation. There's a basement, you can look at the structure, it all looks good. In here, there's a crawl space with a lot of dirt, and you don't have a lot of confidence in the foundation.
What is the actual hardship?
The hardship is the narrowness of the lot and the existing conditions that the house is over there, and we want to go straight up, similar to the last project. Existing foundation, existing first floor walls, second floor wall lining up exactly over it. And then also mitigating circumstances that we're doing all these things to make it more conforming.
John?
I don't have any questions.
Jana?
But thank you.
Mechanicals or anything we need to worry about there?
Pardon?
Mechanicals? Have you allotted on the plan where all those are going to go?
Yes.
Because you're shaving it close on the coverage. So is there anything that's gonna surprise us, that's gonna bump that over 20?
The only thing I can think about, I talked extensively with Wayne Archimon, the surveyor, as we calculated all this, and he was, plotting out to how far does the shingle stick out. This is the proposed HVAC units.
Okay.
It's maybe, 20 square feet. I don't know for a fact that he counted those or not.
Yeah, I see them on here.
I would assume if it's required that he did, I mean,
We have an allowance for equipment that doesn't have to count toward coverage,
Okay,
like 9 square feet per unit,
okay.
so it may not be a problem.
And
But you might wanna, if you get there, you might wanna stipulate that you have to achieve the under 20% coverage.
they will have a propane tank which will be buried. They haven't located where it will be, but probably over here somewhere.
And the total height on the addition,
Oh,
is it
yeah.
within, we talked about the
Okay,
height?
oh yes.
Uh-oh,
Glad you
are we
brought
getting a
that up.
sensitive area? Okay.
Well, no, it's another point in our favor. The drawings you have show a little jog in the roof and clipping it down here. And the owner the other day said, I don't really like that, I don't think it looks as good. So we lowered this roof 6 inches, and raised this roof 6 inches, and the total height of the building now from the average grade is 28 foot 6 inches. It was 29 feet on the drawings that you all have.
Versus 29, okay. So the plans you've submitted at this point are correct. We're looking at an older set.
You're looking at an older set. This is, brought these to the printer today.
That's all right.
But these are what we would be working with. And
Okay.
the only real significant change is that the building is 6 inches shorter.
Okay. Building 6 inches shorter. The portico, the front portico is all within setback.
Yep.
What's going on with the pool?
They are possibly putting pool fencing around it. The deck now does not comply with any codes in terms of pool fencing. So they will either put a new railing on the deck with a gate that'll be 4 feet high and can't be opened by a 6-year-old, that sort of thing. Or they'll put pool fencing right around the pool apron.
Pool is remaining
The pool is remaining.
exactly where it is. Okay.
Yes.
Any issues for you with pool? Nothing else, man?
Good.
Jan? Anybody in the audience wish to be heard on this application? No. No neighbors screaming and shouting about this? Looks like a big improvement.
We made nice cookies for the neighbors, right?
All right, that's smart, all right.
So let me ask, these are the final plans, and these are the only final plans?
These
We haven't
are the
received them.
final plans pending bolt diagrams from the structural engineer, yes.
And if the board approves this, you have to match the
Yes.
roof lines,
They-
the volume,
yes.
window patterns.
All of this will match.
Do we need a set of that? Do you want to leave
I
these?
can get you a set tomorrow if you'd like. Or do you want to keep these?
Yeah, maybe we should keep those.
Okay,
But another set would be good, and then load them into the online program.
okay, we can do that.
So all the existing structure is being preserved.
Almost all. There's a little 2-foot overhang here that's going away.
Okay.
It covers a bay window. And there's a little porch that, there's a little porch over here that doesn't even show on Archimoto's drawing that will be removed. And instead, we're putting this this little mudroom. It's probably smaller than the porch.
Okay. Anything else you guys thinking? I'm just looking over Woody's questions. All the support equipment's within setbacks. The front facing garage we already talked about. It's a false front now, but it's going back to garage. And are you gonna widen the driveway?
We're hopefully not touching the driveway.
Okay.
That's what I was saying, we had talked about widening the driveway and realized it didn't work because you open the door and step onto the neighbor's property.
Got it.
By converting that back to garage, does that make it compliant parking wise? Maybe that's what
It makes it
still
more
doesn't-
compliant. Not completely compliant, but rather than having 2 cars in the front setback, we now have only 1 car in the front setback.
Makes it a usable garage again.
Yeah, there isn't really any way to get both cars behind the front setback because of the fact that, here's the setback line. I suppose we could have them move the portico and put it right there in front of the living room window. Otherwise, you have to go up here to somewhere to park.
It's still possible.
It is. I'm wondering, you could push back, but you're still in setback. If you go back here, it doesn't really solve the problem. Yeah.
You're making it,
Okay.
it's not as usable.
Good. All right, last chance. All right, no one wishes to be heard. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, we're rolling, guys. Okay, final application. Maybe we can even log in without resetting the password. Final application will be calendar number 12-2024. Carla Lisa Giansanti. Did I say that correctly? You did. Thank you, Ms. Giansanti. If you can come up to allow the construction of a second and an attic story addition and a front porch at 4 Kelsey Street.
Thank you. Hello. This is 4 Kelsey Street. This is the current house.
Can you pick this up a bit?
The description of the house is it's a single-family ranch-style home. It's approximately 850 square feet, and the lot is 5,000 square feet. Just a small lot. Most of the lots in the neighborhood are pretty consistent to that. This is the current diagram of the layout. This kitchen was renovated less than 2 years ago. We're planning on opening walls here so we can have living space. This is the current condition. I've had it rented. So we're asking if we could have a variance to add a level so that the first floor could be living space, and we can have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs. This is the proposed sketch. There would be no changes to the existing footprint. We use the same foundation. Basically, the same siding would remain. The first floor windows would remain. We just need stairs on the interior to go up to the second floor, which don't exist. So the house next door so it would be something similar to the house next door here on the left.
I love the dog in the shot.
It's not my dog. This is the house on the right. So I just included some questions that Woody had sent. The first question was how much of the existing structure would be preserved. I think the only thing that goes away is the roof with the proposed plans, but other than that, I mean, the floors and the kitchen, and we need stairs inside. Everything else is in nice condition, even the siding and the windows that exist. The second question, would this proposal fit the neighborhood? I think I demonstrated that it would be pretty consistent with the other homes adjacent to 4 Kelsey Street. And the third question relates to the front porch. I currently have like sort of a little awning. The plans call for something similar. It's just 5 feet. This here is like 3 by 3. The proposal would be 5 feet by 3 feet, just enough to cover for rain.
Would it be enclosed?
No. Not even any columns or anything. It would just be attached to the face of the house.
Do we have that? Do you have that plan with the drawing?
Here.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. I have a drawing with it.
We'd have brackets that would attach to the side of the
Yeah.
house.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Is that our typical size?
Mm-hmm.
5 foot.
5 by 3.
Well, we have an allowance in the regulations that can extend 3 feet into the setback for something 5 feet wide. Practice of the board has been 8 feet wide and 5 foot deep to allow those. So there is an item in the agenda, legal notice for the porch.
So is the porch you're proposing all within the setback?
No.
It is not.
No.
Okay. Take us through what the hardship is on the lot,
Sure.
and the setback restrictions, and what you're asking.
So the hardship is that the existing house is 3 feet over the front setback. And then the requirements for the side setback are 10 foot on each side, but a combined total of 25. So the right side is fine. The left side is, I think, 13.1. And so we don't have that combined 25 feet with the existing home. And while we did talk about bumping the second floor back 3 feet, we're right at the coverage maximum,
What's the current coverage, do you know?
19.8.
Wow, okay.
It's only a 5,000 square foot lot, so there really isn't any direction we can go.
Okay.
Is that third story movable space?
It's like it would be a flex room,
Okay.
so office playroom.
How much of it are you finishing?
less than half, 400 square feet.
But it will be finished space. And is there a lower level to the house?
There's a basement.
Okay. Any finishing work down there?
Approximately, right now it's not finished. We'd like to finish half of it.
Okay. Mechanicals will all be in the basement?
Yes. Yep, they currently are, and they're staying. The furnace is fine for the house, that's staying.
So let me ask you a tough question.
Sure.
Did you explore bumping in the second story to come more into compliance?
We did.
You wanna talk about it?
Amelia
State your
Ferry,
name
she's
for
our
the record.
architect.
You're up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, board. My name is Amelia Ferry. I
You can
am,
step up here, Amelia. I'm sorry, unless
Yeah.
you can pick that up. You got her? Oh, you're good? Okay, thank you, Amelia.
no problem. My name is Amelia Ferry. I'm the architect for Carla, Lisa, and Joe. We did explore it. At this point, once we go in, up on that second floor, we lose all the interior space. We lose a full bedroom up there. So clearly the footprint becomes very small. And we also explored looking at, and I'll show you on the site plan, we do have space in the back, and we explored looking at pushing it forward, but again, we're at the max coverage on the building coverage, so 20%, and we're at 19.8. So at this point, we're just using the existing foundation, the existing first floor, decapitating it, removing the roof, and just going straight forward. We are in compliance with the 50% basement finished space proposal and the 50% attic space as finished. So we're conforming in both ways. We did pull back on the, I don't know if it's, let me see if I can show you in this side.
While you're looking for that, is there any investigation on the existing foundations to put all this additional?
Yes, the masonry is in good condition. There's no issues there. So we pulled back on the proposed attic space in both directions to allow for just almost like a T-shaped square shape, so that this middle portion is the finished area. Mechanicals would be going into the rear area, anything used for AC and heating, for the second floor and that level. And again, in the basement level, their portion of it is all mechanicals. This is all unfinished, so all mechanicals with the access outside, not touching any of that existing. This is all existing. And same thing for the proposed here. We're going to pump all the mechanicals in the front and the back, so it's really just the finished space is this center area here.
There's a little shed in the back that's right on the border
Yes.
of the neighbor. Tell me what's gonna go on with that.
We would move it.
You would move it?
Sure.
Okay. We
It's
love
about, it's
removing
8 by
sheds.
6, and
Okay.
it's about 2 feet over the side setback,
Okay.
and we're happy to move it within the 5 foot.
So you're gonna keep it but shift it, or you're gonna get rid of it altogether?
Keep it and shift it.
Keep it and shift it so it meets the setbacks?
Yes.
Okay. Jana, you wanna ask about neighbors or anything?
I can't get to anything.
You can't think of
I
anything?
can't get to anything. so-
Oh, okay, I forget that. Okay, what are your neighbors saying about this?
So I'm friendly with the number 4 house, or number 3 house, and they said they've seen the plans online. I've submitted, all the letters to all of the neighbors within 100 feet. I think it was about 12 letters that I had to send out. They said the plans look nice and they're supportive. I didn't request them to write a letter.
Okay, that's okay. I'm not sure it makes the second story worth doing if you're gonna cut it in, right? Is that the issue?
I don't know.
So how many square feet do you have right down? How many square feet will you have
Where
when it's finished?
they'll save this roof line and then just tie it to the house.
I know.
My neighbor on Du Bois.
What were the room sizes? Can you take us through what the floor plan is for the second
Sure.
floor?
Let me just grab the right copies.
And I'm giving you a hard time because you usually take people to task on this. Sure. And make them, we want you to be more compliant, not
Then
less.
you see
Do you
that.
want me to- I
They-
probably
they
can
look
put
on
it on the
case-
board.
they do
Great.
that.
I don't know how that got.
Oh, yeah. How did that get
Yeah.
approved?
I think for the what is the existing square footage?
So the existing square footage is under 900 square feet,
Yeah.
livable
It's gonna be like
space.
2,000.
So essentially, we're going up another 900, right? And then 50% of that, so 450, so 900, 450. Sorry, I didn't do the math.
Yeah, 1350.
1350. And that-
2250.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So we're a little under 2,300 square
Got it.
feet, plus or minus.
Very nice.
It's not a large space. Now, the issue also, I just dawned on me, when we come in on the inside, that affects the staircase also, which is already very tight. And I can show you towards the front of the house in the positioning, trying to keep and maintain as much of the interior, because as she mentioned, that they already did an interior renovation and trying not to disturb that as much as possible. So we're doing a switchback stair for that exact reason, trying to be as tight in footprint as possible. Anything moving it forward, we're losing into that kind of, that main hallway. So again, if we do that, we're not only losing a bedroom upstairs, we're losing hall space. It just is a trickle effect.
I have the plans on the
Perfect
thumb
strategy
drive.
that it's keeping with the neighborhood dynamics.
Yeah.
The existing fabric of the neighborhood is predominantly two-story plus. So, and the height of the building we're conforming with regulation is under 30 feet from average grade to the midpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the proposed second floor. No, that's the first floor, sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the proposed second floor, so these are the stairs this is the front of the house, these are the stairs, so there's 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. Bathroom off the master and a bathroom in the hallway.
What's on the third floor? Is there a bathroom?
Yep,
This is the third floor. These are used for mechanical. This in here is the flex room and then a bathroom.
Okay. What do you think, John?
I mean, I think if you step back, they lose the bedroom and the walk-in closet, which is why they want to stay in line there. We're generally talking, this isn't deliberations, but looking side by side with the neighbor here and the neighbor here, they look out. They look out of
That's
place,
Gina's point.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who approved the one on the left. That's huge.
Who approved the one on the left?
Actually,
Is it?
I think
That's
so.
totally compliant, that
I
is?
think so.
Even
have to look it
how
up
in the
and
front
read it.
setback, they must be perfectly in line with,
It's pretty close.
no, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
This
pretty.
isn't too far off.
Because it's 7 feet in the front, right? Am I doing that? Is that right?
Yeah, they are.
They might be just,
Oh, no, it's 4.
There.
It's 3.5 feet in the front, so it's really only like, it's really only like that.
And
We
are
could
you
look it up, but.
are you changing the driveway?
I mean, we would probably, you don't have enough room for 2 cars, we would widen it. I think we said we could do 10 feet wider so that you would have this area and then a little path to the front door.
Okay. What, are you good with that?
Yeah, that's always positive, yeah.
Yeah.
To have more driving space.
Okay. And all mechanicals, we always look to make sure that the mechanicals are within the setbacks, we would stipulate that.
if
Yeah.
on the site plan, let's see.
And you have to keep the dog.
Yeah,
So right now, the compressor is here, it would stay here, and that's well within the setback.
Okay.
Behind the
Here's-
slider.
So
AC
we got that,
unit is
yes,
here.
Okay.
So it's all within, and then if they needed a secondary for the upstairs, it'd be adjacent to the existing.
Okay. Outdoor patio.
Nothing is changing.
It's flagstone.
Yeah,
Nice, okay.
step
Nothing
down, one
elevated,
step
okay.
down. No decks, no
Okay.
structures.
Any water issues on the property? No. Okay. I'm running out of questions. You guys got anything?
Well, I definitely see the hardship. My issue is definitely with minimal adjustment necessary. Because that second floor could definitely step in 3 4.5 feet to stay in the buildable area. That's, in the side I get, right, that's very minor. I just, that's what I love, I mean, look, it really looks out of place. I think it's a great plan, the minimal adjustment necessary is what gets me on this.
Yeah.
I just think that can be stepped back, I've seen that's done all over the place.
And if it is, you think that the hit is gonna be on what? The bedrooms would go from what dimensions?
Well, we would lose,
Yeah.
we would lose, I mean, you lose your entry mud room. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I think they were
Slow
sorry.
down.
If you can. We lose, the bedroom would not be
I roughed it.
compliant, it would be 7 feet.
Something like that red line. So that, look, the bedroom gets very small, I get it. The walk-in closet goes away, it becomes a regular closet. There's no closet in the hallway there. I get it.
I think the numbers say they would need 1.9 feet to reduce it and conform with the 15-foot side setback.
No,
Is that what you mean, the side
no,
setback?
I'm in the front. I'm talking about the front.
I
The
see.
side, 1 foot.
Yeah, 1.9 or so.
But the front is like 3.5 feet, right? It's 26.6 in lieu of 30.
Correct.
It's possible.
That's the, and I think it would look okay. It's not,
Sometimes it looks better.
like on the side, if you tried to step it in, it would look, again, it would look
Right.
ridiculous.
But in
You'd
the
never want
front.
to do that. But in the front across the whole face, I just think that it would look nice, for sure.
I don't think we would argue the aesthetics. I think it's really about the livable space that they're trying to gain. That's why we're proposing, wherever, as much as we can within means. So I think that, aesthetic, we can make it work, sure.
Could the attic be a bedroom and then the front room, if it gets shorter, be the playroom?
It could, I mean, at that point, the only issue there is if they're moving in, it's 2 flights of stairs going to the, putting a master up there, things like that, trying to keep it within, forever home. Just longevity of the design.
Because that, the front bedroom isn't the master though, right? That's bedroom 1, am I misunderstanding?
I think this is the master, right?
Yeah.
Right, the
and
middle.
then- But I think it comes to here, which isn't, you barely have enough room to walk around the bed.
Right.
If you did that.
This is a 10-foot
Yeah.
room, this is a 13-foot room.
Given the existing footprint, if we reduce the front by 3 feet, the depth of bedroom 1 is 7.
Well, yeah, you'd have to take from the master,
Oh, I
right?
see what you're saying.
You wouldn't do a 7-foot bedroom, you'd end up shifting everything.
Everything
so
would
that
have to
the
move.
primary bedroom wasn't 13 feet, it was only 11
Right.
feet. or
And as a
whatever.
primary, already 13
No,
by 11 is quite
Honest.
modest, thank you, yeah.
What about the 3rd floor though? Can that be the attic? Could that be a bedroom? Or is that not big enough for a bedroom?
It is.
I don't really know the rules on attic bedrooms.
There's no rule on just the 50% finish, Cody? 50% of the second floor square footage. So, you got any question, Mike?
No, not really. I mean, I think they're at 3rd floor bedroom too. They're gonna have trouble also with the pitch of the roof and being able to like size it properly. So I don't have any questions.
Jana, good? Is there anybody from the audience who wishes to be heard? Even if you have nothing to do with this, you're welcome to step up.
No, I'm owner. I'm
You're an
fine.
owner? Quietly, I
Yes.
guess.
I think
All
they said
right.
everything.
You guys good?
Yeah,
Thank
have
you
any
for your
other
time.
questions?
Okay, we will close the hearing. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So now we move into the fun part. None of you can speak. We now talk about your applications and make a decision. So, all right, I'll start with, everybody has to go yes or it doesn't pass, yeah.
I understand now.
Yeah, that's the risk, and that's why the applicants were told in advance that we would be short one member.
Got it.
Okay. So let's start us off. Let's start off with, obviously, Salisbury Road, Timothy and Ann and Amy Kennedy. Oh my nuts. Jen, you want to start?
Yeah, there's no buildable area because of the wetlands, clear hardship on the wetlands. I think there was some other hardships
Pool
too,
for
but
the
that.
pond,
What's
the
that?
pond.
Yeah, the pond that's in the front, there's that little triangle that Woody marked up 23 years ago on the drawing.
It's unbelievable, the limitation. I mean, the hardship is just so glaring.
And they were getting rid of a shed, right, for us to bring
Yeah.
that into compliance. And I think Jeff said, even though the propane tanks are shown on the drawings in non-compliant, they won't actually be there, so I thought
Yeah.
it was very, there's a very, very clear hardship there. There's nowhere to build.
Matt, what do you
And
think?
I don't think anything was egregious in terms of size.
Yep, yeah, nothing more than that. It's a pretty modest addition here, and there's not a lot else you can do on it, so.
Yeah, I love what you said about removing the shed. I love that all the mechanicals are within setback. It's wet. I mean, I assume that we'll do the standard Woody engineering surveys and everything to make sure that water.
I actually have an EPC application for the modest little foundation expansion that falls in the wetlands setback.
Really? Okay.
I know it's small. So
That
it will
was-
be a look at.
That's as
drainage.
of right though, right? That little piece was as of right.
It's as of zoning right,
Right.
but it's in the wetland regulator. So there will be a look and site drainage and grading can be looked at, and access for the digging. You might wanna, if you're comfortable, you might wanna stipulate something about the shed and the propane and
Yeah, so let's stipulate that they've agreed to remove the shed and that any new mechanical equipment, including propane tanks, will be
Or at least
in.
relocate. As long as they can relocate it into it, we don't care as long as it's compliant, right?
Okay,
Or actually, was that a
the
coverage,
one.
was that a coverage issue?
no, this one doesn't.
That wasn't this one.
This is the one where the propane tank's already been relocated, but the old ones haven't been picked up. So
They're just
you
showing
could
the
stipulate
drawings.
that they need to be picked up.
Okay,
So remove/relocate shed, whatever they end up doing. And then the propane tanks that are shown on the drawings will not be there, on how we wordsmith that.
yeah, what do you need from us, Woody?
that's good.
Okay. Love removing shed. So, Jana, what do you think?
I think it's the minimum adjustment necessary.
Yep,
And I think they're very limited in their buildable area.
good. Hardship clear, the property is limiting, there's really no buildable area, okay. Somebody wanna
And
make a motion?
They were how far over?
Oh,
I should have made notes. 25 feet versus 35?
It's already exists. so
And this is the one that
it's-
this is Davidson, right? Ellie and Peter?
Yes.
That one,
Yeah,
And
Peter
the
Davidson
neighbors
agreed,
and
he's at
the-
48 Salisbury.
The garage is already there, so it's in
Mhm.
this.
okay.
It's-
The shed's on the right side of the house, that's going away.
You know, it is sort of interesting that, what was it, 2001, the previous plan called for a whole expansion of the house. They were gonna build a whole one-story new garage and convert the existing to a kitchen. They never did that. So this is less disturbance of the site and putting volume up and over instead of spread out. So it's interesting how different owners view things differently. But everyone's had the same problem with the property. Great place, but limited with our regulations.
I guess it's pretty conservative, I like what Jana said. Go ahead.
Let me make a motion.
Sure, go ahead, Jana.
I make a motion to approve the plan, but I wrote it.
Okay, anybody second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. That's 4-0 pass, congratulations. You've got your addition. It's pending EPC approval.
Good luck.
All right. Okay, so now we'll move on to deliberation for calendar number 11-2024, which is the application of Charles Kerrigan for the second story attic and one-story addition at 16 Archer Lane. Who wants to start?
Yeah, the hardship was undersized lot, I think it was 70-something feet instead of 80 feet. They're bringing coverage into compliance, and while not bringing parking into compliance, getting better.
Love it. Improvement on parking.
Improvement on parking. I think he was like this was the one.
1 foot by 23 feet,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 29 total feet. That's like very small volume added inside of that.
Yeah.
I have issues with this one.
We talked about stipulating, he's gonna remove the shed, the deck, the porch, and the 2-foot overhang.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Does that sound right?
I'm not sure of the specifics, but you could certainly stip that they have to remove a sufficient amount to get to an under 20%.
Yes, that's what we're going for.
It does sound like we have some.
I
plan.
think they
was some of
landed at
this-
19.
I think they did say they're getting 20 Archer.
Yeah, this is 16 Archer.
Yes.
Archer.
So this is the little, hang on, I should picture.
I think they get it 19.4.
Yeah. it's-
Yeah, they're 19.4, it's this.
So this is the shed in the back
Mm-hmm,
that they're gonna remove.
mm-hmm.
They're removing the porch, but they're actually replacing the porch with an addition. That's this right here.
Yes,
So that's not really,
the porch is in the setback,
no. Yeah, correct.
so it's more compliant.
Oh, is that what that looks like?
Is it? Am I getting it wrong?
Come all the way over? I guess it's close, yeah.
Okay. That's an improvement. I like that the height's coming down to 29 and change, it's under 30.
Yeah, well, the drawing thing is a little confusing,
Yeah.
because what he showed us is not what is part of the application, right? So I don't know how that works.
Unusual.
Because on here, the height is 30 feet, and what he showed was 29 feet.
He says it's 27, right?
Oh, was it 27?
I think it was more like 29 to
I mean,
20,
it's
30,
30.
30 is allowable though, right? So,
And 30 is allowed.
We're really just talking about the volume difference, right? Is that, I'm not sure that.
I mean, it's not really,
It's allowable height, so we're really just talking about the difference in volume.
Right.
I don't know that, to me, that wasn't, it doesn't make that big of a difference, I guess.
okay.
But it's helpful if it is coming down, right? It's reducing volume, so anything that's a positive.
yeah, I mean, the volume in the setback was like 29 square feet.
Yeah.
Or,
Yes, you did.
in the setback.
The volume in the setback is, yes, only about 29 square feet. Yeah, because they're going over the existing foundation. And I agree, I don't think that it's favorable to step it back.
Not on the
But I
side,
like
not on
that
the
he
side, not on the
explored it.
side,
Right.
not on the side. It just doesn't look right.
I kind of feel like it's an improvement all around, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. No issues with this one.
All right. Janet, you want to say anything else?
I think we've got the hardship, right, which is that the undersized lot.
Undersized lot.
We've got very minimal adjustment. I
Uh-huh.
think we've covered that.
More compliant, they're within the 20% coverage.
And they're removing the shed and, yeah.
They're
And
improving the parking, it's going back to a garage, so I like that. So the one thing we want to stipulate is that the HVAC is covered within the 20%, right? Woody, do we care about that?
But we said you get a separate allowance, like a small allowance.
We don't need to worry about that?
Well, we can just say that they have to achieve, you can either make it 19.4 as they testify, or just say under 20.
I would say under.
Under
Under
How they
20.
achieve it. You
Yeah.
can also say all the mechanicals have to conform to
Yeah,
setback.
we always say that. So all mechanicals must conform to setbacks and coverage cannot exceed 20%. I like that. Sounds like we know what we're talking about. I like that.
Getting there.
All right, Matt,
Nothing.
okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll motion to approve with the stipulations that we just got.
No more than 20% coverage and all mechanicals within setbacks.
And removing the shed.
And removing the shed. What do you have on
Well, I
that?
guess that's part of the 20%, right?
Yes, correct. Okay. and the plans are reflective of what he said here today, which is that the total height is 28.6, not 29. I mean, I don't really care, it's fine either way, but we're basing our decision on that plan, on the updated plans
That we haven't seen,
that we haven't seen.
except on a poster board.
I'm watching Woody's face, I'm waiting for him to tell me something. What?
No, I don't like getting plans that are here and they're changed from what's been submitted.
Can we
Not
add some
cool.
kind of subject for you to review them and make some kind of step for you to review them and make sure there's nothing in there that's, I mean. we-
Basically, what we'd have to do is look at them and say, okay, this is consistent with what the board saw, intended, understood. And if there's a change that's substantial, we'd have to bring it back.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, if
That's
that's for
fine, we
amendment
should
of the
definitely,
plan.
we should definitely
We
do
should
that.
do that.
Agreed.
Sorry to make more work for you.
It's okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It'll work out.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Matt, right? That's okay.
Matt seconded. All,
Thank
that's
you.
4-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the last one, this is calendar number 12-2024, the application of Carla Lisa Giansani at 4 Kelsey Street. So this is the second story addition and attic and front
Just a minute.
porch.
Could you leave the plans, please?
Yeah.
Pardon me.
What did I just say, Kelsey? Yes.
Correct.
So I'll start this one. We're at 19.8% coverage. I like that they're complying with the 50% attic, 50% basement. I have the same struggle with it that you do. You know, we bust people's chops all the time about making those plans work and making the minimum adjustment. In this case, it just seems egregious to me. I just,
The sides are always, to me.
An issue?
No, the sides are always, to me,
Nothing.
like, you can't step those in.
yeah.
It just doesn't look right, it's just not, it doesn't work. But the front and even the back step-ins happen all over the place.
I know.
My neighbor on Du Bois Street did it, they left that wall up, they cut and I just.
It changes the whole plan, but it does work. It still could work.
Works, I think it looks, and look, they totally got it, I mean, they don't have to do something, but they should do something here because they do look out of place. I just, you know, the minimal, and the hardship is definitely there. The minimal adjustment necessary is just, I think you could come in here, if they had come in with that being 3 feet back, or whatever, 3 foot, whatever it is, and just the sides there, or the one side, the 13.1 side?
Right, the combined was not
then we would-
25, yeah.
We would probably all be home by now. I struggle with the front, because it would look fine with that.
Jana, what do you think?
I mean, I'm sympathetic to everyone for having more space, especially with family and kids, and, I mean, it doesn't look like it to me that it would be out of place given what's next to it, and it's just really, really unfortunate that whoever built it originally built it a little too far forward. They just pushed it back a bit. So I don't love the fact that we're gonna say, no, you can't have it match the front of the existing footprint. That bothers me, and I guess I kept trying to sort of say, well, is there another place for a bedroom, but it's not up to me to play architect, so I think I could be okay with the 3 feet, just because I feel like it does, the overall ask of it does not seem out of line to me, but I understand where y'all are going.
They're gonna get the third bedroom out there no matter what. Because if we were to say no, and they go straight up there, then they're just gonna shrink that. I get it. The master bedroom's not gonna be 13 feet, I get it, but it's a 5,000 square foot lot, it's not 2 acres of where you can make your, I don't know, it's a.
What do you think, Matt?
I don't know, I kind of hear both sides on this one, for sure. Yeah, for me, it's, the 3 feet isn't wildly out of place. I don't know how the law next to them got approved, just looking at the map, there's no way they're getting as close to the line as it is. So I agree that it does fit into the neighborhood, but only because there's a big house next to them. Forcing the primary bedroom to be 10 feet feels, it's on the tough side, I guess, but.
The hard thing is this board is supposed to say no unless there's a true hardship. The design is not a hardship. It's an inconvenience. May not even make sense to do it if you scale it back, but technically, we're supposed to make somebody come into compliance.
Look, they've got the hardship. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's just-
Yes.
to me, that's not the question. The question is whether or not it's minimal. And, well, nothing for nothing, it's 800 square feet and it's going to 22.
So that's the
100 square
subjective
feet.
argument, right? The minimal is like, I mean, we're talking about
Yeah, I
adding.
mean, it's not like we're saying we can
1350.
only add 400 square foot to this. I mean, we're
Mhm.
3 feet times the front of the house
Roughly
is
20 feet.
Is it 20 feet? It's like
60 square feet.
60 square feet.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's not the minimum adjustment. It's not.
I can't say it is.
Okay. So that's the issue. So do we want to keep talking about this? Does somebody?
I mean, look, I guess the question is can we say everything else is okay except for the front? Or is that not how it works, Woody? Because I am okay with everything else, I just can't do that.
I think you could stipulate that they have to step in the front wall.
And then if they choose
How?
to do it or not, they choose to do it.
How? They tip a shed roof toward the front, and then go straight up 3.5 feet in or whatever it is. Same design, same front facade that's been presented, but step back with
I
it.
think it would look good. It just makes that second floor.
I think you'd have to have them resubmit. I think
You
you'd
would.
have to see the plans. I don't think you could.
Like you said, it's hard to play architect on the spot here and
Yeah.
figure it out. But
We'd have to reject based on the fact that it's not the minimum adjustment, and they'd come back and resubmit plans that make the adjustment.
So then you would be able to approve it because you'd say it did meet the minimum.
Then there's no, exactly, then there's no, it's just the 1 foot on the side.
you're
You
comfortable
can't- you
comfortable
can't
with the
step.
side, not the front, at least.
Yeah, the side, you can't set step in the side, it just doesn't. You can't have one side step in and the other one straight up. I get it, that would never work.
And the line of the house, is it, this is what I should have drilled in on with them. Is it extending, like if you drew a line with the neighbors, is this house significantly in the front?
The one to the left is pretty much.
Woody has the
I know,
land.
I took pictures
Woody's
of
got
it.
the land map in here, I think.
I can't get to anything, so if you don't mind if I look over your shoulder, I might.
If you look at you can see on the map here, they're right next, these two are identical, basically. Same front, same lot size.
As is.
And this one's even closer to the property line than this one.
Really?
So you're saying, oh, this is flat,
Oh, there's
you
the
have to
numbers.
step this back.
I mean, we've said, I've been on deliberations where it's been egregious. It was like someone was towering over the neighbor.
Barb, look at this.
I know, it's in line.
I know, and look, that's what kind of stinks about the decision, right? Because somebody approved that. I get it, but.
If it weren't in keeping with the neighborhood, if this were some egregious giant addition, I'd have an issue with it. But I guess I'm leaning towards letting it go because it isn't the minimum adjustment, I will admit, but it's not a big adjustment. It's pretty minor.
60
And
square feet, it's an extra 60.
that's kind of where I'm
Sure,
leaning, but I don't
sure.
know. I don't want to talk you out of where you're going. Because I think you're right. What the board is supposed to do is say, there's another solution here to make this a minimum adjustment. You know, this board's really not supposed to give you an exception when it really requires it.
So that's different.
They must have divided that.
Yeah.
That was probably the one on.
It's a different size lot, yeah. What do you think?
I don't know, I agree, I feel like it's not egregious.
It's
Three
only
feet,
60.
I feel is
kinda
different than
went
5 feet or 8 feet.
3 feet times 20, 3 feet times 20 feet is not really,
It's a meaningful difference, I feel like, in this situation, so,
and not a lot on paper.
no, not a lot on paper.
I know, the thing next door. It's ridiculous.
Well, one thing you can do is you can continue the deliberation.
You do what?
you can continue the deliberation. and not
Well, I
conclude.
think the other thing, oh, look, 60 square feet kind of puts it
Perspective.
in perspective in the other direction. And if you're gonna step that in, now you're adding foundations below whatever supporting that stepping. So now you're disturbing more of the house, more work there.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Maybe the minimal
Maybe it
adjustment
is the minimal
necessary.
adjustment.
I didn't think about that, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You're
that,
just
if you step back in, now you've got this face here, you got some header that's gonna have to
Mhm.
get supported down. They're going through. I think I can actually probably get behind this now.
Okay.
60 square feet is just, for some reason I thought it was 7 feet on the front, but it's 3.5. It's 7 feet to the portico, to the porch.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
we can get behind it.
yeah, look at this.
All right, does somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve it.
You're gonna approve it, all right. What do you think, Matt?
I'll second it.
Okay,
You know, including
This
the
is
porch, the front porch too, right?
Yeah, the typical porch stipulation.
Well,
What
Do
they
you any
stick with.
they're
stipulations?
smaller than our usual, so their normal is 5 by 8 is allowable, but they've asked for 3 by 5, and it's just the overhang.
Yeah,
Right.
The bracketed, the way they designed it.
Okay.
So
Okay,
there's two different items.
all in favor? I can't believe
Talked myself out.
All
I
right,
talked myself out of it.
That's why we deliberate. All right, 4-0, Woody, thank you, congratulations.
Work with it.
Hold it on.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty minor, it's pretty minor. I
It's not
know,
like-
I know.
Whatever that one was last meeting, that was
That was a lot,
a lot of volume. It's actually not a lot of volume.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it is a much bigger house, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, that concludes our 3 applications for tonight. Let's see, deliberations and decisions, we did, other business. So we're gonna close the hearing, Woody, and then go to other business? Close
Yeah,
the,
you can go right to other business.
we'll go right to other business, okay.
Completed the deliberation.
So approval of the minutes from May 15th. I've reviewed those. John, you were there, and Matt, you were there. Did you guys have a chance to look at those?
Yep, you look good.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the minutes from May 15th? I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, you've got 3.
Thank you.
You got it. And then general discussion on application materials, item K requirements. I mean, this is kind of a special meeting. How much do you want to cover tonight with this?
No, I just wanted to say that we have a bit of a challenge, I think, on our hands, because you've articulated a few things tonight. We should probably be a little more careful. I think there is a sense that we've been almost a little too flexible.
Mhm.
And that there's a sense that if they reduce some nonconformity a little bit, the attorneys like to seize on that, you know? Yet there's times when there's clearly an alternative design, like you guys went through tonight. One of the things that I think would be perhaps helpful is to think about notification to neighbors about just what a variance means. They all have to be notified of the time and place of the meeting tonight, and they can learn about it. We require the legal notice to go to the neighbors, but there's nothing much else that's provided to them. And it really
They
does.
don't have to get a copy of the documents?
No, they don't.
They have to go online and search them out and find them
Yes,
themselves?
correct. So, one of the things that is significant is it reduces neighboring protective rights when you approve a variance. You're allowing someone to expand in a place like a side yard setback. So it does affect a neighbor more than they often realize. And that's commonly why people don't attend. They don't really understand what it means legally. And it might be good to consider a couple things to help notify neighbors of what it means. You really should pay attention. Don't feel bad about questioning what your neighbor's doing. Maybe in your own best interest someday to be careful. And then we have all kinds of issues with, when people say things, there was a previous couple of applications where the board had stipulated a couple things, and we relaxed those last time. One of them was a requirement that there be a landscape screening against the neighboring property. And based on what the applicant said, we don't really think we need it anymore. But what I think we need to encourage is just be careful. Say, okay, we'll take that under advisement, we'll continue your hearing next month, and we'll go take a look and see if that stipulation what is important. We don't really want to, frankly, believe everything that we are advised or informed of. So it's good to be challenging, I think, and careful. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of pass that along. But,
Can
we're getting there.
can they submit their building plans to neighbors? Is that or do a link, or is, I mean, that seems like a pretty small house to be able to
I
say.
bet you
what are
9 out
planning
of
on
10
doing?
people would just throw them in the garbage, so.
Like,
Well,
I think
it
it
looks
says
like
that
a
like
carrot.
it's
I
on
don't
file.
know, I
if
like
you
that
want
idea.
to go, if you want to go read about it, you can. Like, it
Yeah.
basically tells you, if you're interested, that it used to say you can view them at town hall. But
Yes,
I
it
don't know
does.
does it say you can go to the website now and find it online?
More or less, but it might be good to clarify that.
And
Just like you
make it- Make
guys,
it easy for them to just go on and find the plans.
Yeah, I'm
if
all
they're
for that.
just go to those blue links that Greer sets up for us, and they're there.
Yeah.
I find those blue lanes hard to navigate.
Are they?
I feel like a whiner, but I cannot do the online stuff. I did it
Yeah.
all when I looked at it, and then I showed up tonight and I couldn't get to anything. So
Yeah, I
every time
find
you
it
were
tough
like,
to navigate.
you were like, do you have anything? I'm like, no, I can't get to anything.
Yeah, you
And, like, I'm flying blind yet again.
So,
Is that because the iPad doesn't?
I don't know.
Work for you?
It's going on the town website, but I don't know if it's because I had already opened them all on my iPad at home, and then I got here and it got confused. I don't know. But every single time.
it's gotta be the internet connection.
Maybe. But it shows I'm connected.
We can print a set, I mean, we're trying not to, but we
I
can,
know.
that would be easier, yeah.
I need to.
Okay. Yeah, good enough.
I'm
Thank
like,
you.
dying.
Appreciate it.
I agree, I'm all
We'll see how it
for,
goes.
I'm all for sharing more information. I think what staff does a really nice job of is preparing people for like, we're gonna wanna hear the hardship,
Yeah.
we're gonna look for a minimum adjustment.
Yeah.
We had to coach through some hardships again today, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's another thing that Kevin has been kind of big on that.
yeah.
You know, why do we have to pull out?
Right,
I mean, it's one thing if it's the fire department, they're trying to do good work.
Yeah.
But if it's, Mr. Attorney, what is your hardship? You're reducing 3 square feet of nonconformity is what? If you're struggling to essentially find a hardship and justify the application, you probably should deny it. You know, if it really isn't clear that they need a variance and they've proven their case, we'll probably get better proposals that way. As far as the parking goes, our requirement is 2 parking spaces that meet setback, front, sides, and whatever. So if you were building a whole new house, starting over with all these projects, that's what we would look for. And typically we get a 2-car garage, and that works fine. What's really valuable is where these properties have a single wide, that they widen them to 20 feet or so to make a comfortable 2-wide parking space. Even if it's just a single car garage, we might have had a little misunderstanding with the one application tonight about you don't necessarily have to go to one side. Just have the function of getting more vehicles off the street edge.
Can we dictate that? We just say,
You can.
this is fine, but you need to widen your driveway.
Oh,
and-
sure. Yeah. We had one, I remember some years ago, and the owner was just livid. It was a condition that you have to widen your driveway because they had a big family and there were like 4 cars. It was on Fitch Avenue, a relatively narrow street. And the guy was just beside himself about it. I have to widen my driveway, that's ridiculous. Believe it or not, he finally does it. He claims the utility pole, they're gonna be backing into it, my wife's gonna hate it, it's gonna be in front of our window. When it's all done, what do you know, I got 4 cars parked side by side in the driveway off the road edge. And he ends up one day saying, you know, you were right. It's been a blessing to have all our cars in the driveway, not stuck on the street. So anyway, sometimes our regulations actually help people. Their limitations are actually for good cause.
well, Woody's kind of reminded me that they're asking for an exception. So we dole out the yeses and the approvals pretty readily, whereas you'd rather us lean the other direction.
Well, it's a very good message to be able to say to people, you really want to conform. And if you can't, You really,
Absolutely can,
Really
yeah.
can't. And we had a few tonight that
Well, that's
they
what
worked through.
I feel like when,
Salisbury
like
was-
that's the thing, it's like if they get to us,
Mhm.
I feel like Woody does a very good job of trying to get them to conform. And
Most of the
people
time.
don't really wanna come here and ask for, I get the sense that it's like, we've had a couple, but by and large, the ones we end up with are the ones where it's like, it's an impossibly small lot, where they have a bunch of weird features on their lot, or
Mhm.
they're a corner lot where they've got setback coming from both sides, like, those are the ones that we're generally like seeing. I mean, I don't, but I get it. I mean, Kevin has made it very clear that we should pretty much always say no.
Yeah.
It's like,
Unless you need to say yes, and there are plenty of occasions when you need to say yes.
yeah.
We've struggled with one that's down by the water. It was approved in May. And it's a replacement two-car garage. It's very close. It's like 10 feet from a property line instead of 40. So they had an old garage. It was pretty tired and just filled with their stuff. So their claim was, well, we got a flood zone, we've got ledge, we really can't fit in a new garage attached to the house. We have to have it detached over there. It's turned out to be a problem because they're so close to the property line. The grading is very difficult to fit in. We've gone through almost 2 months of trying to figure out how to make this work. And it would have been better off to basically build a garage that conformed and attached to the house. But sometimes we get these things that somebody says, well, we can't do that because of rock or ledge or something. All I'm saying is, you do get people that stretch the truth. It's good to be challenging. That's even good for them. In the long run, if they conform, it's usually better. So that said, we'll see how it goes. But thank you for coming in on special meeting night.
Exactly. So we're next in July?
Yeah, hopefully July 17th.
Okay. So let's adjourn, 8:50 PM, meeting adjourned, Channel
Thank you.
79. Good.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, Matt makes a motion, I'll second. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Woody, for the prep. The notes are always really helpful to me.